What is up, gamers and geeks? And thanks for joining us today. In today's episode, we're going to talk about
What if Mace Windu killed Palpatine? Stay tuned.
sorry, I get a kick out of the music, man.
Very good.
So Rick came up with another badass Star Wars fan theory as we were texting. Just this last week? We're always texting before we get together on the weekends, and this guy gets into it, man. He does his research. I mean, he geeks it out, man.
Right.
Proper.
And coming up with topics sometimes is kind of hard, but we want to give you guys what you want. So if you can think of anything, just comment. We'll make sure we talk about those things.
Absolutely, man. And by the way, I am your host, Matt.
And I'm Rick.
And yeah, that's going to be today's topic, man. What if Mace Windu were able to gank Palpatine? I think he was in Palpatine's royal office chambers there on Coruscant.
Right.
Yeah, it's an interesting theory. I mean, who's the first person that comes to mind if Mace Windu's able to kill Palpatine?
Anakin.
Exactly.
Well, and
exactly.
mainly because he's right there.
Yeah.
And
Now, when you ask that question, does he follow Mace Windu like he did, even though Mace Windu commanded that he stayed back at the Jedi Council, he still followed him. So, Is this if he still follows him or not?
Well, at that moment where Mace Windu is about to kill the Emperor, that's that moment when when Palpatine kills Mace. That's the moment that turns Anakin to the dark side fully.
Right.
Because immediately after he makes him Darth Vader, he sends him to the temple with all of the guards.
Right.
And that moment is the pivotal moment that changes Anakin's future.
We already saw him treading down the path, right?
Right.
And you knew, obviously knowing from 4, 5, and 6 being the originals first, that you knew what was going to happen. Yeah. But then they had to fill in the gaps as to what led him there. But then what basically you're saying is once that Palpatine's life was actually threatened and Anakin immediately saw that Padme was the only thing he was thinking about, then that was the final push. Obviously it is, but is that, yeah.
I think so, and, because of the rule of two, obviously Palpatine had other things in the works. He had Count Dooku, he had Darth Maul, and he had another one that I can't remember the name.
Well, there was General Grievous, but I don't really count him, but so you're talking about who Palpatine had as far as his Sith?
Yeah.
You had, you start with Darth Maul, then you had Count Dooku, which Dooku was kind of linked to General Grievous. And
then he had another one that I think started with a V. Comment if you remember.
VVD.
Yeah.
No.
He might have had VD.
Well, I was thinking Jabba had that, but
because he did have grandkids, and in the Disney stories.
So you're saying, as far as Palpatine having his own Sith apprentices, right?
Yeah. So he wouldn't have trusted anybody with what he was doing with Anakin. So there's not a Sith that's just gonna sneak in and take over Anakin's training.
Right. So who did he have? Because the only ones that are coming to mind are Darth Maul, Count Dooku, and then Anakin. As far as that, I don't know. Asajj Ventress was the apprentice to Count Dooku.
Yeah, maybe that's who I was thinking, but yeah. Anyway, so at that point in time, is Anakin at that point where he stays on the light side, or is he somebody that's going to be? Is he still going to turn? Because there is still a concern about Padme because he's had the foretelling of her death, and
you notice his visions were so linear and so limited. It's almost like it was almost edited. It's almost like anything you see on the internet anymore that's edited for anybody. It was like he just saw her in pain. He didn't even know it was childbirth. He just saw her face. If you remember in Revenge of the Sith, that's all he saw was her in pain. He never saw why. You know what I mean? He just saw the image of her in pain, and that's the only thing he can keep dreaming about.
So my question: Palpatine had mental powers. Was he pushing those dreams and nightmares on Anakin?
Well, I mean, that's the big question, and I think that it's kind of been left for warzies like us to make that assumption ourselves. I mean, he was the most manipulative person in the history of Star Wars, so it is a safe bet, yes, in my opinion. Because how manipulative was he? I mean, there was no one more manipulative than him.
Yeah. So was he pushing the dreams? Or the nightmares? Do they go away when he died? I
mean, and that's the big question. Is as far as when Anakin becomes the first person that comes to mind if Palpatine is killed by Mace Windu. I mean, because look at that battle. How do we know that Palpatine didn't just fall down and act like he was bested to trust Anakin to actually come to his aid, and Anakin did? We don't even know for sure if Mace Windu beat him straight up.
Right. Well, and that's exactly what Palpatine does, like even with Darth Vader and Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
He pushes Anakin to get him to attack him, and then Vader saves him, you know.
I mean, like if you've played the Galen Merrick series of video games in Star Wars The Force Unleashed, depending on what path you choose, you can ultimately kill Vader and become the Emperor's new apprentice. So, again, that's just, it's that form of manipulation. You know, Palpatine has no loyalty to any apprentice, but that's a Sith for you. You know, the Sith apprentices always, at some point, try to kill the master anyway.
Yeah.
So, the best way to go about it, in my opinion, would be that, you know, obviously we're thinking of Anakin. Now, is Palpatine allowing himself to be beat so Anakin can step in and then prove his loyalty to him? Or let's just try to figure that one out first. Or do you think Mace Windu actually beat him? Or do you think it's a little combination of both?
I mean, so what you're saying is Mace. Well, our question was if Mace killed Palpatine. So do you?
Yeah, and the reason the reason I'm asking this question is so then I can start moving on to that actual main subject content that we're talking about. If he was killed, but what I'm saying is, and the reason I'm saying that is it in your opinion? Do you think that he allowed Mace Windu to win? I mean, Mace Windu had a style called Vapid, which is a very rare lightsaber style. And I read the book on Mace Windu. It's called Shatterpoint, and it is such a great book. I think the Jedi that he was there rescuing, I think it was Luminary Andoli. And yeah, I don't remember her race, but she was like, had this green skin. But anyway, long story short, Barriss Offee was her apprentice, but Luminary Andoli was, I believe, in Shatterpoint. And anyway, long story short, we're talking about that level of manipulation, which would also be Palpatine's way of manipulating again, allowing Mace Windu to win, knowing that Anakin was going to strike. So the reason I'm asking that question is because now, if Palpatine is actually defeated, and let's say he allows Mace Windu to win, and Anakin doesn't step in, Mace Windu was going to strike him down either way.
I don't think that he let him do that, because Mace Windu, with his lightsaber, blocked the Force lightning.
Yes.
And he was getting full force of that. I mean, look what it did to his face and body.
At the time, Mace was the second most powerful Jedi in the galaxy.
Right. So, I mean, I don't think that as a test, he's going to make himself go through that. And plus, Mace had the skill to block the Force lightning, which is Palpatine's primary weapon.
Right. So it's something that Obi-Wan did with Dooku, I believe, in Attack of the Clones as well.
Yeah.
So with the blocking of the Force lightning. Okay, so the reason I'm asking that, now moving on. So let's say that Palpatine is actually bested, and then now let's say Anakin does nothing and Mace Windu delivers the fatal blow because he said he's too dangerous to be kept alive. You know? So let's say he strikes the final blow. In your own words, in your opinion, with Anakin, what do you think happens with Padme after that? Do you think that your first question was, is he manipulating Anakin to having those dreams? Well, we know he can invade minds.
Right.
So, I'm with you. Here's where I'm with you. I think that those visions were manipulated by Palpatine because I think she goes on to deliver 2 children in a healthy manner. That's my opinion.
Okay. I agree with that. I think that she probably doesn't die because everybody says Now, I've questioned this in the past, but everybody says she died of a broken heart.
Right.
I mean, Bean was here and said that one day, and I was like,
Right.
Really?
I think it's stated in Revenge of the Sith.
So, I mean, so if Anakin doesn't turn, he's not going to, first off, he choked her, almost killed her, and we'll talk about that later,
right.
too. I don't think she had the physical injuries that were going to kill her.
No, I mean, physically she was healthy. They even said that when they said she's dying, and Obi-Wan goes, "She's dying." He couldn't believe that he was actually hearing that she was dying.
No.
Because he even knew that she didn't suffer any physical injury. So the broken heart of Anakin actually doing that is the big theory as to why she let go.
Yeah. So, second question, what Sith Lord takes over?
Well, Dooku was ganked. Maul wasn't dead. Did you know that? Obviously, from the expanded universe stories and whatnot, Maul had some weird mechanical legs, although he got cut at the waist, so I don't think he also had his man parts, his Zabrak parts, if you will. But I don't know. I think we'd probably get an all-new character, unless he decided to start waiting and biding his time for a Luke or Leia.
And so let's backtrack a little bit. I kind of jumped the gun.
No worries.
So Palpatine, immediately after they kill Mace, and Yoda escapes, he immediately orders the death of all the Jedi. He does Order 66.
Execute Order
Obviously,
66.
Yep. If he's dead, who's there? Is there anybody to initiate?
No, I don't think there is, because he was the head of it all. His whole theory was to rid the Republic and become the first galactic empire.
But you would think that Dooku was. Who said Dooku was dead already?
Yeah, Dooku was dead at the beginning, if you remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you had Palpatine flat out order. He goes, "I can't. It's not the Jedi way." He goes, "Do it," and then he goes ahead and severs Dooku's head. So Dooku's dead. Dooku was dead. He was killed just before. Grievous was basically ganked just before as well, when Mace Windu paid. Dooku had already been ganked, so he's gone. There's no Dooku. Maul was in hiding. Maul gave up on Palpatine after that. So, I don't think he had anybody on deck. I think he played all his cards in Anakin.
Yeah, but the balance, you're going to have somebody emerge someplace.
Right. But if Palpatine's dead, you're like, who becomes the new Sith ruler?
And
I mean, there was always Snoke, I guess. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Disney ones, but he was in existence.
When those movies were made, was he in existence in somebody's mind?
I don't know what he was.
Well, here's another controversial take, okay?
Yeah.
What if the new Sith Lord is one of Anakin's children?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and let me ask you this. Of the two, who do you think would fall to the dark side easier, Luke or Leia?
Oh, probably Luke.
I should have saved that for a different topic.
Right.
Well, we can do it later on and explain why. I would say Luke too, by the way.
Yeah.
But would Luke become the new? But what would pull him to the dark side if he had the heavy influence already at the time of Yoda, of Obi-Wan, who was alive at that time? He would have been alive. I mean, he was still alive either way. So, he had the influence of Obi-Wan looking out for him. There wouldn't even be a reason to really hide them if you think about it. Would you even separate the twins? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, so
sibling rivalry.
I don't know.
Who knows what would happen?
I know that there's balance, but maybe that would have been the balance that they finally needed. It wasn't up to Mace Windu to decide the fate, but if he ends up killing Palpatine, he kind of decides it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, thanks to Disney, even if he had killed Palpatine, would Palpatine have been dead?
Well, according to Disney, no.
Exactly.
Because he was dead, but his essence was,
Yeah,
somewhere.
Apparently, yeah. Evil never dies. it's like that Michael Myers tripe from one of the last Halloweens. But, if you think about it, though, like, let's go to Mace Windu. What happens? The Jedi Council, because, of course, Palpatine's like, Anakin, the Jedi are taking over, and he's totally playing it off. But obviously the Jedi Council reigns supreme. Like you said, there's no Order 66, so the Jedi Council keeps peace. The Republic remains. I honestly think it's not the end of the Sith. It's never the end of the Sith. But I think that causes peace for a while.
For a while, but you still have a Senate that's very corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Not as corrupt as Palpatine, but
right.
He's able to manipulate them like you wouldn't believe.
Well, who takes his spot? I mean, Padme Amidala was no longer it, but I mean, does she retake the throne afterwards to try to bring her planet Naboo back to,
Now, Bail Organa's still alive.
Who is probably my number one.
And what's Mon Mothma, yeah.
Well, and if you think about it, if Palpatine is killed at the hands of Mace Windu, Alderaan never blows up.
Yeah.
Because there is no Death Star, there's no Empire. At that time, anyway.
But from Andor, Mon Mothma was huge.
Oh, yeah.
She was the one big voice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say she'd probably been up there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, one of our stories is probably like if something happened different. Mace killing Palpatine is what the meaning of the lesser of two evils. Right. I mean, because you can never advocate, let's just murder somebody.
No, but as much as I always like the Jedi better than the Sith, because we always have that moral compass in our heads. I mean, it's video games that allow us to carry out things we could not do in normal life, right? So, the Sith characters are always more fascinating and cooler looking, but I still sided with Jedi when I watched all those. And even though I believe in their code, I still think that striking Palpatine down, armed or unarmed, he's always armed, no matter what.
Gosh,
so
yeah.
I don't think I think it's justifiable to strike him down right there. He's always armed.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I mean, he doesn't need a lightsaber. He can invade your dreams. And like we said, we've discussed it,
And now we know what kind of a badass Mace was. So.
Oh, absolutely. He was a badass. And like I said, Shatterpoint, that book, you can probably find it on ebooks if you're ever interested. Listen to it. It's really good. I mean, I don't remember what planet he goes to, but he's trying to save his former Padawan, and he literally almost goes insane. This planet is just chips at his sanity. Even the Force could not sustain his sanity, and he had to speed up his mission because he was losing it. And he's the only Jedi that had what's called the Vapid style, like I said, and it's an interesting lightsaber style. And so Mace Windu is a hell of a character. Great concept. And I think that he is strong enough to stand up to Palpatine one-on-one, yes. I really do. I think he's powerful enough. I just don't like how Palpatine walked right through Kit Fisto and I think Aegon Caller, the other, and then Sinise Ten. Those were the three Jedi that he just in one hit just wiped them out. And then it was Mace Windu.
Well, I think that what you were talking about as far as him trying to, I think Anakin being there played into possibly Mace defeating him. But I don't think that Palpatine intended to get defeated so handily.
Right, okay.
I think he ended up with more than he bargained for.
It's a Lucas film, so it always has you wondering, even what you're watching, is it really what you're watching? Do you know what I mean? That's the beauty of George Lucas. And that's why I actually enjoy the prequels. The prequels got such a hard, heavy dose of criticism, and then the Disney ones came along, and suddenly everyone loved the prequels. It's so weird how that happened, but and me included. But I already, like I said, I already loved the prequels. I was collecting a lot of stuff, and I thought the prequels were good.
They told us who the next Sith Lord is going to be.
Oh, God.
Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks, the next Sith Lord.
Jesus. But it's so weird how he did little things that were so subtle, though. Did you see the little things like he just would conveniently, with the Pumbaa, the water ball, he conveniently pretended he was juggling it, and he just happened to guide it right where it needed to, and now that's a normal George Lucas stupid Ewok type shit too. But I'm just saying that if you actually read deep into the backstory on that, it paints Jar Jar in a completely different picture. As much as I hated him, it was so unpopular in The Phantom Menace that it caused Lucas to shift directions.
Okay.
He was so hated. But like, if you actually read the real backstory, it's popular fan fiction now, but he is a manipulable bastard.
I'm not really going to read into Jar Jar's backstory unless
Why not?
if
It's so fun.
if there's a couple of people comment and say, "Hey, Rick, I think you should read into his backstory," I'll read into it.
Does one of my comments count?
No.
Okay. Try. It was interesting. It's an interesting take, though. They even showed what he looked like in a Sith robe and stuff. He's still stupid, but it is interesting. It's like some of the least likely character. But I guess if you think about it in a sense, it's like C-3PO becoming some assassin droid, you know?
Right. Well, when everybody comes from frogs, you know.
Oh yeah, the Gungans. But you know what though? I did like their underwater city. I thought that was pretty
that's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. And I actually liked the other Gungans. They were actually tolerable.
Kind of.
You know what I mean? Oh, it's just like, come on, Lucas. And Disney carried it on. We don't need these Muppet-like or these alleged lovable characters. Like, what was it in the Millennium Falcon Chewie? I forgot what those little furry things are called in the Star Wars ones. It's so annoying. We don't need this crap, man. This isn't the Muppet Show. You know, this is sci-fi.
Right.
It just gets old. And it's like, you and I will never let it go about the Ewoks winning for the rebellion.
I mean, they set some traps, like those two logs.
Yeah. How did they have the physical strength to move those logs?
Well, there were like 1 million of them, didn't you see?
Well, yeah, but if they think C-3PO is their god, do you really think they're smart enough to make those contraptions? I mean, they're, they're bowing to 3PO. They're not that smart.
Did you leave your fur in the closet there?
Probably. That's between me and Mandy.
All right.
But no, yeah, this episode's coming to a close. But yeah, like Rick said, give us your comments, man. But what are your closing thoughts? I'll give mine real quick, and I'll let you close out the show. But I think that, long story short, if Mace Windu destroys Palpatine, there's peace for a while. There's probably no reason to make the Disney trilogy because the trilogy was closed out, and then we probably have at least a couple of centuries of peace until another Sith Lord comes along. But yeah, you don't have to separate the kids, you know.
Right.
And then, like, the Anakin can live happily ever after with his family. What do you think?
Well, I'm not as optimistic as you. I mean, I think that there's still a prophecy of the chosen one, and I think that something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Either somebody emerges or something happens with Leia and
I
Luke.
do too, but I think it's farther down, is my opinion.
Yeah, it could be. But I think that something's going to happen, and probably, I would say Mace killing him would give him at least another 30 or 40 years.
Okay. So
before
you'll go that long? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hard to tell. All right, guys. Well, that's really all we have. But that was the topic. What if Mace Windu were to kill Senator, Chancellor, and Emperor? How many titles does he need?
He wasn't Emperor yet, but...
No, but Palpatine. So, all right, guys, on that note, let us know what you think in the comments section. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff that we always beg for you guys to do. And on that note, brother, I am outro.
Me too.